Hi guys, how are you?
Hey,
Hey, Tatiana.
Tatiana.
Good.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I was chuckling along to the laugh track in Pretty Smart, which leads me to my first question. I feel like it's so rare to see a show that's like this like multicam sitcom with the laugh track taking me all the way back to like the 90s. Um, so Cinthya, can you just first talk about what the experience is like to act in that way?
Oh man, I mean, it's amazing because I'm a 90s baby and I grew up watching 90s sitcoms. So for me, this was a dream job. I mean, everything from The Prince of Bel-Air to Family Matters, Full House, just all of the great sitcoms of the 90s, even before, even just wonderful sitcoms. So this was a dream job and it was everything that I imagined and more because it was such a different experience. It was my first multicam, my first sitcom, and yeah, I was fangirling every day on set, just absorbing how wonderful it all was, and getting to work with this incredibly talented, hilarious, beautiful, smart cast. What more could I ask for? It's literally a dream job.
I love that. The roommates are all so much fun. But Grant seems to have, the most fun developing a love triangle this season. Can you talk a little bit, Greg, about, being torn between or just getting close to one sister while in love with another sister? How's that going for you?
For sure. I think for Grant, we start the season with Grant and Claire having broken up. I think there's a deep level of respect between Claire and Grant, and potentially something, feelings just didn't vanish. However, when Chelsea comes in, I think there's a mutual sort of connection blossoming that could or could not turn into something deeper, which may then obviously create a bit of an awkward situation for two sisters who are also beginning to love each other and beginning to get close. So it's fun, definitely playing Grant, and it's fun being involved, in that dynamic for sure.
Definitely. Now, Michael, I love how Jaden is like focused on, she's like IG fame, if you will, but sometimes he's so wholesome, right? Like, I think that you could easily be like, oh, this is like a lesson in like social media eats your soul. But instead, he's like such a nice guy and good friend. Can you talk about like hitting that balance between like the fame side and then like the love and peace side?
Well, I mean, I'm so glad you feel that way because I think, yeah, I think it would be easy to write off Jaden as being just a vapid, influencer, self-absorbed person, but um, he really cares so much about his friends. And I think someone like Jaden kind of thinks of, I think, look, not to get too deep, but I think what everyone's looking for on social media ultimately is validation. On one hand is the bad thing, but on the other side, it's like love, right? It's like attention from people who love you and support you and want to make you feel good about yourself. And I think Jaden, in some ways, a little naively, doesn't really always like. I think he thinks of them as the same thing. That like, okay, well, I'll be strangers on. All my followers love me, then I must be loved, and Grant loves me, so I'm also loved. I do think though that first and foremost, Jaden maybe takes him a second to get there to realize it, but he ultimately prioritizes the people in his real life and the roommates, especially. But yeah, he's just looking for love.
As we all are.
As we all
can
are.
Yeah.
we can learn a little from him. Speaking of like learning and relating, I relate to Solana. I would love to quit my job and become a healer. Can you talk about what has led her to make this decision? What were the stresses in lawyering, if you will?
Well, she had a mental breakdown. There's a little friend that I know very well called anxiety, and that's what she has. She's a strong woman, which is what I absolutely love about her, and I relate to her on so many levels. But she's such an ambitious, ferocious fighter, and she takes her job so seriously, but it wears her the hell out. And in pursuit of, I think, trying to win all the time, she forgets that why she really got into law was to help people and defend people. And there's that really intense, ferocious side of her that takes over. that, you know, made her go a little wonky. And I can speak, you know, for myself when I say this. I've been there, I've done it. You know, mental health, that's a real thing. And so she goes to see a healer who changes her life. And I've been there too. I've had my own kind of spiritual journeys. I've been there, done that. So she finds an easier way of living, something that makes her happier and something that makes her feel like she's really helping people. And that's what she wants to do at the end of the day. Even as fierce as she is, she really just wants to love. And I think that's the similar quality that all of these characters have that really bonds us.
Absolutely. I love that you guys all share that wholesome, you know, like wanting to love and help quality, which obviously Chelsea has a lot to learn from. But on the flip side, would any of you say there's something you learn or your character learns from Chelsea?
Yeah, definitely to read a book.
Yes.
Reading helps. Reading helps for sure.
That is also a lesson that everyone can take. There you go. There is balance in the universe. Thank you guys so much. I had so much fun watching. I cannot wait for everyone else to join me in that.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you.
You too. Have a great day.